He received his Bachelor of Fine Arts from Indiana State University in 2008, and he received his MFA from Tufts University, which is in Boston, correct? In 2011.
Yeah.
And he showcased, on your resume it said you showcased in Bulgaria?
Yeah.
That's amazing, first of all. So you've been showcasing all around the world. So please give a warm welcome to Courtland Blade, and we're going to listen to him speak about it.
This work really deals with the ideas of supermodernity, isolation, and outplaces. So supermodernity being the intensification of modernity, or the intensification of the now. That being said, it could be evident in how we attempt to control, manipulate, and understand every aspect of the human experience. And physically, that could be shown in how we construct our spaces. More specifically, spaces of transience, or spaces we pass through, spaces that are really created to control masses and groups of people. It's places like restaurants, ATMs, superstores, things of that nature, grocery stores. These places also create a certain isolation that we experience that in our current age that we didn't experience like the 50s or 40s when we had more smaller communities and places that really had rich making history, like the court areas of cities. Like we used to have people meet, people talk, these spaces people kind of ignore each other, pass through, and become really common people. Also, the influences of the work visually is through cinema, art history, mainly. So cinema being movies that are visually striking, high tonal contrast, high saturation. Films like 300, 1 Hour Photo, The Machinist, movies like that. So, and you also have a use of color that you're able to really create distancing. There's a psychological effect in the pieces. I try to employ that in these pieces. And then historically, the Renaissance, abstract expressionists, I pull from all stuff I can. So the use of one-point perspective really helps you construct the space and pull the viewer in. And also the use of color theory with simultaneous contrast, like we see in this piece here, with the use of red and green really popping. That's also from the Renaissance and from the American abstract expressionists. And then contemporary painters with the use of texture, different mediums to really enrich the surface of the canvas. So that's really what this work is about. So, do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Why did you pick, like, you focus on the idea of isolation, but why did you pick things like the office space? Did you like sit and paint them, or did you just like paint them from memory?
I take a lot of photos, so digitally from the laptop, that's where it work. But it's actually where my wife works. But these are just spaces that are pretty much any first world country you go to, you probably find a space that's just like most of these. So again, it gets that universal, mass-produced, corporate entity back in these pieces. Are there any more questions?
I was talking to my friend, the photographer over here, and wondering why, like if the photo is the starting point, like why paint it? You know, like I mean, I'm not saying that it's not worth it, because I do think there's something to the paintings, but I'm wondering why you've moved past the
painting,
image.
It changes it. It adds a more physical quality, and it gives it a permanence. And like these also deal with capitalism, and the illusion of never-ending abundance. So these give it more of a permanence, because your thing falls down. We saw a picture, you know. But traditional oil has something to make permanence for an image.
Are there any other questions?
You see a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mostly about the space. So I kind of limit people. So I actually started out in undergrad, I did mostly portraits actually. And then in grad school I switched to mostly spaces. It's kind of funny. So that's what I'm doing now, spaces. So I do a person every now and then.
I know that you were talking about how these are spaces where people ignore each other in them. So I was wondering if you would ever consider meshing the people and the spaces, maybe reference to people being in them, but like ignoring the viewer in some way, or
Yeah,
if you
actually,
would ever
I do have some cases like that. I don't think it's here. Well, yeah, the grocery store down here. We have a silhouette, kind of almost a silhouette person going to the machine, the self-checkout machine, so you're not interacting. So I do have some suggestions of that, but mostly I don't. I might incorporate some more in the future. This is good thought.
All right, if that's all the questions, I'm sure Courtland, you're planning on staying around for a little bit longer.
Yes.
So if people have more questions that they want to ask, feel free. He's very approachable, I promise. But I did want to touch on, thank you for coming to our first opening of the season. We are new 5th-year interns for this year. My name is Alexandra Chamberlain.
I'm Brittany Severs.
I'm Emily Wilson.
Emily's over there in the corner. If you have any questions about the space or
Future shows we're booked for the semester, so we already have those planned out. Also, if you're here for punch card credit, the list will be out by the refreshment, so make sure you sign it to get credit. And